What is going on, kings and queens of this wonderful wonderland that we call YouTube? So, I know that we've already done a review for this week in 50 Shades of Grey, and I don't like doing videos daily or this close together. You know, I like to give people a chance to watch what I post and also kind of give them a break from me posting things. So, my schedule is more spaced out than this. Um, but I have another review that kind of popped up. It wasn't on my schedule, but uh, I finished it, and I thought it was something that we needed to do. And as the title says, this review is Uncharted 4. And the reason why this is kind of impromptu is because I got it on release day, which was Tuesday, and I wasn't planning on doing a review. I just wanted to kind of do it behind the scenes because I figured as the year progressed I'd be talking more and more about it. But I just finished um, the game within, uh, you know, earlier this evening. I don't know what time this is actually going to be up. So earlier today. And I just couldn't contain myself. I couldn't keep myself from doing this. So, yeah, Uncharted 4. I spent a lot of time with it. I think I beat the game in about 14 hours or so, and that's just me wandering around, kind of soaking in the game, because there's a lot to soak in. But before we get into that review, as always, I kind of do an overview of what things are. And for those of you that don't know, Uncharted is basically a male version of Tomb Raider. He's the main character, Nathan Drake, and his band of merry men um, go around looking for lost treasures and lost civilizations and stuff like that. Um, and get into all sorts of misadventures. And there's quite a few reasons why I love this series. Reason number one being that it's just a beautiful game. Visually, it's beautiful. The stories are always entertaining. If you're in for a good adventure, you know, if you like Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones or anything like that, I think this is gonna be a game for you. Um, and it's just beautiful. The environments are so well done and so visually appealing. You know, you scale, you know, climb up the side of a mountain, and just the view you have is absolutely incredible. So visually, it's stunning. The story is great. It's a great adventure. It's a thrill ride. I've said that about a lot of games lately. That is very thrilling, but it is. It's just, um, you know, like you're playing in an adventure movie. It's very cinematic. Uh, and the other reason why I like it, and probably the most important one, is because I love historical games. I love history. I'm a history buff. And it's not a game that makes up its base material. Um, it actually runs off myths and legends that are said to actually exist. Um, in one of the games, he was going after El Dorado to try and find that. Another game, he was after Shangri-La. And there's just, you know, there's myths and legends that actually exist that are, you know, that are the main plot points for these games. So Uncharted 4, now that we're all caught up, Uncharted 4, uh, I'm very excited to do this review. That's why we're doing it. But I'm also very sad because, to my knowledge, and just the way the game played out, Uncharted 4 is the last Uncharted that we'll see. So it's kind of bittersweet because it's a game that I've been waiting for since its announcement, and it's it was an enjoyable ride. I'm glad I'm done with it. I'm glad I got to experience it, but I'm also very sad that there will be no more adventures of Nathan Drake. In this particular story, I'm going to try and spare you a lot of details and a lot of spoilers because I really think it's something that, whether whether you're a gamer, whether you like action and adventure movies like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, as I said, I think anybody and everybody should check this out. It's just one of those gaming experiences that you gotta live yourself. And because of that, I'm gonna try and guide you through what went on without saying too much. So basically, after the third game, which I'm not gonna get into, Nate goes into retirement with his wife and kind of lives life normally. He's actually he gets a job as a salvage diver, I guess, kind of. And he kicks back and doesn't do the whole treasure hunting anymore. Well, his peaceful life in retirement kind of gets disrupted when his brother comes back into town and says, "Hey man, I'm in trouble. I owe this drug lord a lot of money, and we have to go after this treasure." And the treasure belongs to a guy by the name of Henry Avery, which is a real person. He actually existed, and he is a pirate that is said to have just a mass amount of treasure, and to kind of have founded this city where pirates can go and be pirates and be kind of away from their oppressive government, if you will, and just kind of be themselves. Actually, it kind of reminded me a lot of that in Pirates of the Caribbean when all the pirate lords get together and decide if they're going to go to war. That's kind of what it reminded me of. It's just a place for pirates to escape. Which, as I said, was very, very cool that it's actually a real person. I actually looked up Henry Avery to see if he was real, and he was, which I thought was cool. So basically, yeah, it's just a witch hunt for this treasure that kind of leads them all over the map. They go to Scotland, and they go to let's see, where were they at? They went to Scotland, and then Madagascar was kind of where it finished. But just the environments, you feel. I've never been to Scotland or Madagascar, but I really felt as though I was there with them, which I thought was great. And that's another thing I love about it. I've said it 1,000 times, but I love games that you don't play, you live, and that's exactly what this game provides. Is a experience that you get to live behind the eyes of our protagonist Nathan Drake. So yeah, without saying too much, which is really, really hard, because there's so much I want to say as far as things. But basically, yeah, he goes on a goose chase with his brother to find Henry Avery's treasure to get him out of trouble with his drug lord. Uh, but, that would be too easy. It would be way too easy to collect the clues and just go find it without a bad guy, right? And the bad guy, well, actually, there's two bad guys, but one of the bad guys is um, Nathan Drake and his brother had a partner way back in the day. And I'll explain a little bit further why this particular story is important. So they had a partner way back in the day whom is kind of selfish and kind of full of himself, and he's on the trail of this treasure too, with the help of this lady who kind of has her own private army of mercenaries and stuff. So they're kind of working together, and they're kind of the opposing force to Nate and his friends and his brother. So it's kind of a wild goose chase to see who's gonna get to the treasure first, and who's gonna solve more clues and end up getting at the treasure. And that's all I'm gonna say about kind of the main core of the story. As I said, I want you to check it out yourself. Why this particular treasure is so important was because Nate and Sam, his brother, their mother was the one that actually did the research on it. She was a historian, a college professor, I think, something like that. I don't know, or she worked for a college professor. But anyway, she was a historian who kind of did research on this particular case, and it was the last treasure hunt, basically, that their mother had researched before she died. So ever since they were kids, they've been hell-bent together on finding this treasure. So it's got particular significance to them. So if you round all that up, it leads to a lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of exciting moments, a lot of emotional moments to watch as well as play. And, it's just something you gotta check out, man. I really, like I said, I don't really know what to say because I don't want to spoil too much. Talk to anybody that's an Uncharted fan and they will tell you, play it. And I'm an Uncharted fan and I'm saying, play it. I definitely think it would help you if you started with the first one, which I have never actually played. I don't own it. I own 2 through 4. So, I'm still missing a chapter of their first adventure, but needless to say, after finishing it all, I want to go back to where it began. Now, let's see, where am I going? Yeah, there's not too much I'm going to say more about the game. But I will say, for a rating, 10 out of 10. Flat out. Every time Naughty Dog comes out of the works with an Uncharted game, it's going to be good. So for me, for a rating, 10 out of 10. Do I recommend it to you? Wholeheartedly. Without a shadow of a doubt, I recommend that entire series. As you can see, I'm excited. I just finished it and I'm kind of running on, it's very, I kind of, want to do this myself. Excuse me. After playing this game, like, it just makes you want, after you finish this adventure, makes you want to go have adventures of your own. And that's it's just crazy to me how realistic it is, especially because you can Google Shangri-La or El Dorado or Henry Avery, and and you know, it actually exists. They're real people. They're real myths and legends, and um, that's just one thing that blows me away about the game, is that they correlate such believable, real characters in a story that involves real things, real myths, real legends, real treasures, all that good stuff. And you put it all together, and you have um, one hell of a game. I was gonna try and find other words to describe it, but you know what? I'm just gonna be balls to the wall about it. One hell of a gaming experience. Well done, Naughty Dog. So 10 out of 10, which I think is the highest rating that I've ever given anything in a review this channel. I could be wrong, but as far as I can remember, this might be the highest. I don't think I've given a 10 to anything else. And even if I have, it doesn't matter, because this is now 10 out of 10. Check it out. The last thing that I want to say, and I want to tread delicately, is there's kind of a cliffhanger at the end. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But it kind of makes me think that although Nathan Drake's adventures are done, like this is the last one, and they lead pretty normal lives now by the end of the game. In this epilogue, they called it, there's something that happens in there that makes me think that, you know, if they don't make something out of it, if they don't continue it, that's okay. But there is something that, if they decided to, could keep the story alive and well, and maybe pump out another game or two. Who knows? Like I said, I'm not going to dive into too much detail on that, because I want you to experience the game for yourself. But if you have any interest in any of the Uncharted series, you have my blessing, my praise, my everything to go check the games out. And if you are curious at all about the final chapter of the Uncharted series or the epilogue, please check it out. So yeah, that'll about do it for the review. I don't really have too much to say that I haven't already said, or that I can say past that. Other than that, the next video that you will see from me will probably be next week sometime, and we'll be back on schedule again. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it was kind of something that just came up, wasn't planned, but had to be done. So, until next time, guys, as always, I salute you, and remember, we're all a little mad here.